Hello and welcome back to the channel where we are building a video game from scratch using Love2d and Lua. We've got a couple of things to work on today. Our green tunic still isn't working on the show off, which is its own problem, but then when we equip the song, the problem is we get our lute equipped. We can hit the right timing but the wrong string and get a green note, which is very bad, and that means like our whole music system is broken at the moment. So like if we hit the wrong fret, it registers a wrong note, which is good. So hopefully it's an easy fix, but I spent about an hour off stream last night looking for that bug and I couldn't find it. So we have to fix that because we have to insert the melody for song 1. Which is what we get from the treasure chest here after we complete the demo. Or after we complete the dungeon. So, also, my escape isn't working. Okay, I've got to get my power toys. My Stream Deck was broke today. My Power Toys is broke. So yeah, I'm hoping we can knock that out. I thought it'd be easy, but last night I thought it was easy. It took me an hour and a half, and I just didn't figure it out. So we want this remapping caps lock to escape. That is just not working, so we'll just toggle it, and hopefully it comes back. Okay, let's see. Okay, we got it. Okay, so let's check out how we're doing this. Right, we've got a lute class which holds the song, which holds all the notes, which holds notes are just a string, a fret, and a timing. And then we have a thing called a valid note checker that takes in a string. Now, the fact that it takes in the string here is why I thought we would correctly turn it red if you hit the right fret but the wrong string, but that is not happening. So we do have this open string check, which would mean frets held, because it's like there's 3 possible notes that can come out. A note only comes out if you do the directional keys, and that's the strings. But what note comes out depends on if you are holding no frets, 1 fret, or 2 fret. And it's not just there's a, the second fret overrides the first fret, like guitar rules. So for some reason it's working on multiple strings, but it's not working on single strings. So I would think it has to do in the valid note checker, because the valid timing is the field that flips whether or not it renders red or green if you get it right or wrong. So we do, I think we have to ask, because right here we're getting valid timing true, that's turning it green, and this is where it's wrong. It's not that it's checking, we need to not turn it green if the string doesn't match up. So we do have a 3-way, if we add a 3-way check here for the conditional and say, okay, well, the next active note at index K, the dot string has to equal the string that gets passed into the valid note checker. And maybe that will trigger it. So we're going to see, and we'll have to do some shortcuts, because right now we have to get the tome, we have to equip the tome, equip the lute, then we can play. So let's see a different string wrong It didn't turn red at all. Okay, it just didn't turn red at all. So yeah, let's before we get too far in, let's like pre-equip our tome so we don't have to keep doing it, and maybe pre-equip our lute so that we can just jump in and start playing. So our inventory system, I believe it's like a lute equipped. No, inventory might be in the lute state. Okay, I think it's right here. Yes. Okay, so if we put the tome is going to be equipped from the get-go, and tome 1 is the sheet music that we're going to be reading from. We also need to hopefully just equip our lute, but I guess that is pretty fast to do. So let's see. Wrong, because it was too soon, but then if we hit it, it hits green because it was good timing. Now let's try a different string. Still green, still green. So we know it's in the valid note checker because that's the only time we're doing the valid timing. So if we go to the lute class, valid timing. Okay, so what are we checking here? You know, we put notes here. You know, we need there's like a missed note, but then there's like an incorrect note, right? So let's just walk through what we're doing. So we have an active notes. Active notes is all the notes that are on screen currently scrolling. So as time progresses, we pull from song one note at a time, out into the active note table. Once active note scrolls past the screen, we take it off, and we're only doing valid note checking for the next note, the first note in the active notes table. And as we delete them, the next note that we didn't delete becomes the new active note that we check for. So here, you know, this is just the threshold. The .x less than 12 is just the threshold. We need to be within 12 pixels from the left side of the screen to check the note if it's correct or not. So what happens here, you know, we ask, I guess I don't like the else if model here because something's going wrong. Because if our note's scrolling on and it's in a position to... Oh, see, this is so weird. I think we need to break out the ifs. Yeah, I think we just break out the ifs. Because I feel like we were getting something wrong there. Because basically, if we don't break out the ifs like that, what was happening was like, well, let's walk it through. Because if the note is in the valid range, and the notes string, which is the notes.string, tells us where the note is rendering on which string, and we have it string 1, 2, 3, 4 going down. So we're checking, okay, well, is the string that the note is on the string that we're doing a valid note checker for? Because when we strum, we run valid note checker on whichever direction string we're actually pulling, so we can check, okay, well, does the string match the string of the next note, of the next active note? And we also check if the fret is equal to the fret that's being held down. So frets held index 1 at the end of this here, that is... frets held is the table that we're storing the overwritten fret to. So frets held will be empty if there are no frets held. It'll be 1 if fret 1 is held. It'll be 2 if fret 2 is held. It'll also be 2 if 1 and 2 are held. So we know that's right. The frets held table is right, but the I think what's happening here is the conditional branching here for the else ifs, because here, you know, it's like if the note is strung and it's the wrong string, it won't hit this if, and then it would come down to here, and then it would check, well, if the frets held is equal to nil, which it was nil because there was no fret being held for an open note. So it wasn't catching an incorrect string. So it's like we need to check wrong string first, and this is like this gets more difficult when we think about, well, if there are chords that we need to hit. The melody 1 doesn't have any chords. I built it out and it doesn't have any chords, so we might be okay, at least for the demo, because we don't have the chords. But ideally we come up with a better way for this, because it's like we'd have to check both notes. You know, in a chord we'd have to check if both notes are correct, but also we only count incorrect note every time the valid timing is incorrect. So we also need to add, you know, if someone doesn't strum anything, we need to make sure that they don't get any, you know, if there was no strum, those need to be counted as incorrect, which they are not. So we need to do that too. So maybe we can check this. How would we do this? You know, if we're in the range, and the frets held at index 1 is equal to the string parameter we check for the valid note checker, then we want to go ahead and what are we doing here? We say, well, we only want to care about this if it's not already checked. Checked is like we either calculated it to be valid or not. So we're gonna say, you know, if we haven't already checked this note, let's go ahead and increment our incorrect count, because it was the wrong string. So if incorrect count gets updated, then we become checked, and then we need valid timing false, which should give us a red string, or a red color. But we also need a break, because there's only going to be one of these options, right? Either the note that we're checking, and this is why we have the double array loop, I think, because a note is basically the indexes we're pulling from the active notes. An active note could be a group of notes being a chord. So we have to do this for key value in pairs of active notes, because we're cycling through only the next active note, but an active note could be a group of notes. So we have to cycle through like that. And that's why we have to say the active notes index 1 brackets K, because they're all tables. Everything that goes in the active note is a table of either just one note or up to 4 notes. So we have to check everything. Yo, what up, Kavictus? Dude, you had a killer stream yesterday. So many people were watching like the whole time. It was awesome. Did you hit affiliate? Like, because you were at like 10 viewers for hours. I feel like you must have hit the quota there. Okay, so if the timing is good, but the fret being held does not equal the string, because this is the wrong string, then we need a break, because we got the answer. It was an invalid timing, and then we're gonna break. Number of streams. Oh, dude. Okay. That's easy. Yeah, you got that in the bag, dude. Yeah, I feel like the concurrent viewers is the hardest bit, because it's like, as long as you're like nice to people, people on Twitch are really good about giving you follows and stuff. Okay, so we're gonna break if we find this one is redundant, but I think we're gonna break out, and since I'm hoping that the break can break out of this for loop, I think it looks for like any loop, either while or for, to break out of when we do that, but I don't use breaks very often. Okay, so let's try it. Let's try a correct note and then an incorrect note. So, okay. Attempt to index global active notes a nil value. We didn't do right here. Active notes. Why did we have that not capital? Nice, dude. Hey, thanks for the lurk. Appreciate it, dude. Have fun. Shit. 97 on loot. Incorrect note right here. Why did we do this? Okay, let's try it again. So we do have some lenience for the player, like if you see a note coming on and you don't know what string... Oh, see, we got it wrong right away. Shit, we got it wrong. Okay, well, this should only execute if... Oh, valid timing. What the heck? We have a valid timing... Oh, okay. We have a couple of errors here. So let's look for valid timing on the render and where we're doing that. Because that would be in the note class. I found a mistake. So right here we have a... If we're a valid timing, we set to green. If we are invalid timing, we set to red. Otherwise, we're a neutral color. So there was a reason. I'm trying to think of the reason why we didn't just leave it at valid timing. Because valid timing is a Boolean. It can cover either valid or invalid. But I think since we needed the white, we couldn't ask... Yeah, we needed 3 options. So I think we just have this invalid timing and valid timing. But camel case, this is what I mistook, is valid timing needs to be camel case here. So if we go and we do this invalid timing. Oh my god, okay. This isn't right. Okay, well, okay. Yeah, basically what we're doing before we determine it's a correct note, we have to make sure it's not already been incorrectly played. So we're saying, well, as long as it's not invalid timing, then we're going to see if it's checked or not, which I guess invalid timing would be false initially. So we do have to kind of do the checked as well. Then we're going to check it. Then we're going to say valid timing gets true and turn it green. Wrong string is going to be, okay, well, if our active notes, how does this get uncapitalized every time? And incorrect count is also, why, dude, why are these all over the place? Okay, incorrect count and then incorrect count. Okay, so valid timing, we need camel case here. Dude, there were so many. If you had to count how many spelling mistakes there were in, there was like 12 right there. Okay, valid timing. Incorrect count, invalid timing. Okay. So let's walk it through. Let's see. First option is the note is within the hittable range. The string on the note is equal to our valid checker string. and the fret is also correct. Then, if it's not already wrong, and I'm moving the brake, we only brake if it is not incorrect. What? Yeah, not incorrect already. Then we're gonna go ahead and brake because we know that it was the right. I don't know, dude. It's hard for me to envision. Okay, so if this is the correct note, I'm glad I left the notes there, but it doesn't help because it's what I intend, not what actually happens. So the another option is it's the right timing, and the string does not equal. The string. What the heck, dude? Not the frets held, but we want to check the very next active note. And we want to see if that very next active note's string does not equal the string that we passed in for the valid note checker. So if that's the case, we hit the wrong string, then we don't increment the count if we've already counted the wrong note. But if we haven't checked it, then we're going to get the wrong note. We're going to become checked, and then we're going to set our invalid timing to become true. Okay, now next is open string check. If it's the right timing, but there are no frets being held, that's an open string. Then as long as we haven't checked the note already, we get a correct note, we check it, and our valid timing is true, which should be green, then we break. Okay. Now the last case is, okay, well, if it was just the wrong timing, and the string, why do we have to even ask this? Basically, once we run valid note checker, we've strung some string, we strummed it, and the next note has a dot string that is equal to that string you strummed, but we're gonna set this. So I'm kind of thinking that we just, since we have all the breaks, we don't even need to do this check. I think we can get away with commenting this out, and this is redundant, and we're just going to say, well, if we haven't already checked it, we got it wrong because none of the other scenarios happened. So we are incorrect, we check it, and then become invalid, which should turn it red. So let's see, with any luck or skill, if we have this right. So we got it wrong because I strummed it. Let's see if I can get it right. Son of a bitch, active notes is still wrong. There was like 15 spelling mistakes last time we ran that. Okay. Okay, that looks right. Okay, let's try it. I'm really hoping this is it, man. Okay, correct. Incorrect. Oh, hell yeah, hell yeah. Okay, let's test it a bit more. That looks right. So, correct string, wrong timing is incorrect. Wrong fret, correct string is incorrect. Okay, so we might be okay. Nice. Nice. Okay. Yeah, I'm kind of thinking we at least need to make the note, we need to increment the incorrect counter if the note is expiring and it hasn't been checked, right? So that should be an easy increment. It should probably also turn red, but because I like to give the player like a little bit of time to hit it late, right? That's why we have like the 12 pixel buffer zone for this. Let's see how late we can hit it and still get green. Yeah. See, okay. Yeah, because if we turn it red, like the 2 pixels before it leaves frame, they still could technically get it right. So I think what we need to do is just, if the note is off screen by the time it hasn't been checked, it counts as incorrect, because right now it isn't counting that, and we don't want people to get no incorrect notes if they just don't play at all. So we do need to do this. So before we remove the note, where do we do this? Frets. We do maybe not in the loot, maybe, we do a table.remove for the note, and I'm not sure where we do that. We render all the notes. Maybe it's in the note class. No. Okay, so maybe it's in... I don't know where. Where do we run the valid note checker? We do that in the loot state. Okay, so we do this. Active notes. Okay, right here. Table.remove. Okay, so deinstantiate notes. I'm going to add a comment saying remove notes because that's what I grep searched for. And we're going to say we want to remove the note, but before we remove the note, we should have this incorrect count, right? Incorrect count. Yes. Okay. So we want to basically... Oh, lordy. Okay. So basically we need to check as we cycle through all of our active notes. And if there is a chord, you would miss 2 notes if you get both of them wrong. So that makes sense. It would be in the loop like this. And we're going to say, okay, well, not only do we update it, but we're going to say... if we are off screen, if our note is all the way off screen, we need to check if the active note at the very see, and this is hard coded, it should be okay. This, I feel like this is incorrectly deinstantiating chords, but we don't have any chords in the demo, so I might not worry about this. Cut to me in 3 months being pissed at my past self, right? Okay. Well, we're checking if only the first note in the active note, in the next active note, is off screen. And if so, we remove the whole conglomeration of notes. So, okay, so that is actually right. So, but we do want to also say, okay, well, if it is checked, basically we're going to say if it's not checked, then we want to increment the amount we got incorrect. So if it is not checked, go ahead and count it as wrong and then remove it. So now if we don't strum anything, we should get that incorrect count incrementing as they fly by. So let's see. Incorrect should go up here. Nice. Cool. Cool. Okay, I think we're in business. I think that might have fixed the issue. I do know that in our graphics we have a capital Aquis and a lowercase Aquis, and this is screwing over my get pulls on my Mac laptop. So I want to figure this out so that I don't keep screwing that up. I don't get why that is just so jacked up. So we have, they are, let's see, 16 by 16 is the capital Aquis, and this lowercase one is a 16 by 16. So what's the difference? One was in February. Let's see. Okay, so that's the capital A. Here's the lowercase a. Okay, it's a little different. Do we use it in a different spot? Let's see if we use the uppercase aquis in the code anywhere. Oh, just as a drawable, not an info table. No? Okay, we have a lowercase one here. Okay, I guess we don't have it. Okay, so we should be good to delete it. I'm just getting so many issues with Mac because of that, and it's like, I thought it'd be a simple get fix, but it just like wasn't happy with me. Okay, well it looks like it's right. We don't render aquis in the demo, so I don't imagine that'll be a incorrect thing. Okay, so let's equip our lute and we'll try it. So let's try. Looks right. Great, 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 great. Okay, so I'm gonna make a decision here. Either I start building in the notes for song 1 piece by piece on stream, or we tackle other stuff. So it's like I can start. Let's just start doing it. Let's get the song in there, you know? And then yeah, let's get the song in there. I have to go grab my notes real quick. Right, I got my big book of song. Song 1 is like 31 notes, I think, and I tried to space it out so it's not too difficult or complex. It's gonna be hard. It's gonna be hard, but it's, you know, it's one of those things, you know, like, you know, if you can't play the music, you can't get the song right, you know, so you gotta practice. It's gonna be tough though, because oh my gosh, I have my own system of writing it down. So the idea is, if a tome is equipped, it'll loop through the bass notes of a predetermined bass rhythm, and then you play the melody on top. So as we insert notes, dude, the song 1 table is gonna look disgusting. And it's going to be very hard to modify, but we have to kind of like really get the notes timing, the third parameter of the note to match, so that every note that is supposed to hit with the bass note is at an even time. It's something, it's crazy. So it's going to be probably a lot of trial and error, which a lot of programming is. Oh, I forgot one thing. Okay, so I've got my little synthesizer so I can make sure that I know what notes I'm trying to play, so let's do it. Okay. There is not enough room in the world for this huge sketchpad. Okay, so let's take a look at our first song here. And we're going to pull it. It's in the lute state, right? So depending on which song you equip, which tome you equip for the sheet music, will initialize a specific song. So a song is a table of groups of notes that can potentially be chords or single notes. And a note is just a thing that scrolls on screen, and it scrolls at a certain speed. It has a string, so like a height on which string it exists on, and a fret for which fret it's supposed to translate to. So that's all a note is a string, a fret, and then a timing. The third parameter here is timing. So when they are spaced out with a 2, and this was kind of my reasoning, was at 60 FPS in the game, we had to kind of see how we do this. We have like a BPM and a seconds per beat and a next note timing. We have basically like locked in stone a certain speed for the bass notes to scroll. And then that is a relation. This 30 and 60 BPM is a relation so that we can put a whole number as the timing until the next note. So we basically, that we had to make our own music system. Like in order to get a note in place and to spawn it at the right time, I had to say, okay, well, when I put in a note, I'm telling you how long that note lasts. Is it a whole note? Is it a quarter note? Half note? We have to determine. So a timing parameter of 2 is what I'm considering a whole note. It's 2 whole counts. So that means a timing of 1 would be a half note and a 0.5 would be a quarter note. So it's like nice roundish numbers to get the timing that we want for the spacing, because we have to transcribe a real song that I came up with and put it into code terms. So it's just how I did it. So let's, there's a whole bunch of shit going on here with, we set bass notes. Now these are the notes that are cycling through. They just go on a loop. So it just steps down from a D, C, B, A, which, now that I think about it, I have it B, C, B, A, G going down. So I think what I really did was tune the notes half a step down. So I should probably rename these, because that might get confusing. It's not a big deal. For right now, we'll just keep going, because if it comes out that I just need to rename those original source files, that's okay. Okay. So we initialize a song 1. Those are the first 2 notes. Those are the only 2 notes that are currently in the game scrolling across. But then also, when we reset it, we don't have a fancy way of resetting it other than, well, if we don't have a tome equipped, we do this. So I couldn't find a way, since Lua is I couldn't find a way to do a deep copy of a nested table. I'm sure there's a way to do it. I have to figure it out. But for right now, we're just going to work on song 1 declared up here, I believe, because let's try taking out a note up here and see if only 1 note scrolls on screen. No, 2 notes. Okay, so it looks like we might be doing something. Maybe it's in the reset. let's try to take out the note from the reset method and see. We're looking for just one note. There's one and only one. Cool. Okay, so it looks like we needed to find the song here because when we initialize the loop, we just reset it and flush it back to its original. So right here, this is how we are inserting notes. So we put in a table, then we put in a note instantiation, and every note needs 3 parameters. So it is what string we're on, 4 being the bottom. So let's put a note at the very top and we'll put it for a fret 1, and we'll do the same timing of a whole note with a 2 there. And we'll see. It should be the top string, fret 2 or whatever we said, and a whole note apart. Yes. So fret 1, fret 2, so it's a fret 1. So let's try it again. Let's see. Okay, so we're gonna go. Nice. Okay, so it seems to be working. Now we need to put the real song. We need to put our real melody that we created. Now one thing that is not right is the timing parameter on the note only offsets the trailing notes after it. So our first note of the song doesn't hit on the beat. It is after the bass note loops, which could be confusing for people. So maybe the move is, man, and I hate to keep adding features, but like, I think one thing that could help players is, well, I was gonna say like to have like the bass notes grayed out behind so that you can see like the measures as the bass note goes, but I think it'll just get visually cluttered, and I don't know if it really fits the Game Boy style. So let's just see if we can figure out how to put in a note with an initial timing offset and then have it, you know, scheduled to hit after the bass note, after the first bass note triggers. So how would we do that? You know, we could have an optional option to the note that is called first note. And if there is a first note parameter passed in, then we just need to ignore it essentially, because it's just an optional parameter, and therefore we can give it a timing to start us out at, which affects when it scrolls on, but it also, it would essentially just ignore it. So if we have a note, then we can say it doesn't matter what string, what fret, it is a first note type note object. And if it's a first note, then let's go ahead, let's not render it, let's update it so we can get the timing right, but then don't render it and don't check if it is a first note. Don't check if you've hit it correct or not, because it'll be invisible, sort of deal. That's one way to go about it. Maybe there's another better way. Because how would we essentially want to say, you know what, instead of a 2 seconds, we want it 1 second, and then the first note will start. The real first note. Like the first note is just the offset, because we need a timing. We need a timing to be delayed for the next note to scroll on. And we don't have a pre-delay. We don't have a timing offset for the beginning of the note. We just have the trailing notes. I don't know. I'm thinking we just give it like a first note option. So like if like I don't know. Let's just say like that there's an optional parameter called first. We pass it in to the first note. Then we go to our note class and we say we say in our note class, there's going to be an optional parameter here called first, and it's either going to be false. Well, it's going to be, if there is a first parameter passed in, it's going to be first. So first gets whatever the parameter is, which is a string of first, but it is, yo, what up, soup? It's, if there's no param, it's just going to be nil. Okay. So we still want to update a first note. We don't want to render the note if it is a first, though. We also don't want to check valid note checker if it's a first note either. It seems like a lot to do just for like the one-off case of the first note offset, but we need something to do something like this. So maybe we can just say, we can say if the note we're checking is a first note, I guess we would just break out of the for loop so we don't do any of the valid note checking. And then we need to make sure we don't render anything that's a first note. So when we go to render, oh, this was not in the update. Oh, this was in the valid note checker. I guess that's fair. I don't like, I guess let's leave it here, because if we put it where we're actually strumming, we'd have to like duplicate a whole bunch of a similar line where we check for the first. Okay, so let's put in the update, not the touches. We gotta get that out of here. It's actually in the render. We still want to update it because we need the right timing. And the timing for the next note can't exist until a certain note has been updated. So the next note coming on is constantly checking for the time elapsed versus the timing of the note that's scrolling. So right here, when we render the note, we only want to render the note if the note is not first. So if note.first is equal to the string first, I mean, it doesn't make a lot of sense to call it this, but I don't know what else to do. If note first is equal to first, then we don't want to render. So if it is not first, then we want to render. So if it's nil, we want to render the note. We only render it if it's not first. So let's see. We should only have one note scrolling in. If v first is equal to first, not assigned first. Let's see this. Okay, we should only have one note scrolling in and a little delay. It did look like a little delay. So that is our second note because that's the one on string 4. So if we look at our reset method, yeah, we have a song 1. Yep, the note that's on the bottom string is first, which it wasn't rendered. And fret 2, string 1, which is the top, is coming on. So now we just need to make sure we don't accidentally count a wrong note or count a right note for an invisible note. Because the first note is invisible, but it's updating. So we should be correctly breaking from the valid note checker if it is a first note, but let's just test that. So okay. That was a little weird. We got 2 incorrects. Yeah, we got 2 incorrects. Let me try something. We take out first there. because any given note should only be able to count for one incorrect. So let's see. Okay, let's try it. Let's try it again. See, it shouldn't have turned green there. It turned green at some point. So that means our correct note check isn't checking if it's been checked. So if it is, oh, if not checked, yeah, because we can't get, oh, this. I feel like the valid timing should be inside the checked. If it's not checked, then it gets true. Let's try that. Yo, already been streaming an hour today? Still, it's still turning green. So valid timing, only if it is not already checked. If it's not already checked, we don't reassign it to be a color. Okay. Okay, sweet. It looks like it's right. I mean, it's hard to freaking test it, but let's assume it's working now because I feel like it is. And then let's keep adding our song. So we'll keep building it out here in song 1, because the way this is structured, song 1 is a table of all the groups of notes at every measure, or in between measures even. So it's every note or chord. If there's no chords in the song 1 though. So song 1 is just all the notes. Now what happens is we have a table of active notes that is every note that is actively scrolling on screen. So as the timer to the next note is triggered, we pull the very front note out of our song 1 table. We plop it in the active notes. We update active notes so they scroll. And then I guess I'm getting around to saying we pull the notes out of our song 1. And what that means is by the time the song is done, our song 1 table has no notes in it. And we can't just say, we have to reinitialize song 1 as the table, but Lua is passed by reference, not value. So I haven't figured out how to do a deep copy of a nested table. So that's why we're building out song 1 inside the loot reset function, which just sounds weird, but it allows us to test it. So once we get the song, we can kind of like put it back at the top as a song 1 declaration, but we have to come up with a smart way to do a reset by value, not by reference. So that's all that to justify why I'm building out song 1 in the reset method. Okay, so let's build this out. We've got 31 notes to get the right timing for. Okay, our first note is E, which is, god dang, this is like, it's gonna be on the second string, no frets. So second string, no frets is our E. So invisible note has a certain timing. And then our first real note is string 2, fret 0. And it has a timing of probably a 0.5. Then the next note is a G, which is 2 semitones above, so that will be still string 2, fret 2. And we'll put We basically need this to all tally 2, all the timing. So all the third parameters need to tally a total of 2, because that is our metric for measures. 2 is a whole note, 1 is a half note, 0.5 is a quarter note. So if we put in this should give us an invisible first note, and then it should give us an E and a G, and then the bass notes will be playing in the background. So if we were to put any note, let's just put it on string, we'll put it on the bottom string so we can see. We'll put on the bottom string, we want to put we can put an open string, so it'll be string 4, bottom string, no frets, and then we'll give it a 2, and that's just a way of putting a whole note on the bottom string so that we can kind of see once we turn on our bass notes. We'll put on our bass notes so that we can hear the bass notes looping the rhythm, and we just need to make sure that this fourth or this third note we're adding, the third real note that we're adding on the bottom string, needs to time up with the second bass note. So it should go, bass note goes C down to B down to A down to G. So as long as this third note hits, it kind of proves our point of building out, half note until you play any, half note after you play the first, or quarter note, and then a 1 would be a half note. Let's see. Oh shit, dude. Okay. 0.5 was too fast, right? So let's do oh man, dude, 0.5 was very fast. Okay. I mean, I was just that bad at it, right? I just like totally messed it all up. Let's try it again. Let's try to get any green notes this time. It's okay. It's getting there. It's getting there. I think this is 0.5 is too fast, man. So like, I feel like we shouldn't have notes faster than a 0.5. So that would mean that then we can't really do for this, right? The next note isn't right on the beat. So we could put, we can do a 0.5 on the invisible note. Okay, then a half note, and then, it's hard to think about it as a half note and whole note because we're not sustaining the note. It's just we're using whole note not to describe the sustained level that you're holding the note for, but the time until the next note in the song is scheduled. So as like we basically, I don't know of a way to do this where we don't have a measures defined. It's just, and maybe that's what we can do on a better implementation of this is like define measure 1, measure 2. But we don't have that. We're kind of just like trailing the notes after one another. So I'm just gonna see, like, let's just not even play. We'll not even play, and we'll just make sure that the 0.5 of this note and the 1 and the 0.5 of this note tally up so that the fourth note on the bottom string, it'll be the third note we see, but the fourth note in the table, the bottom note should be at the striking zone the instant the second bass note plays. So let's just see if that's right. That looked right. Okay, so let's see. I don't think we should have any subsequent notes. The speed of a quarter note is just too fast. Yes. Yes, that's the melody. That's the melody I wrote. So let's just keep building it out and we can see. Dude, oh my god, this is bad. So like what really sucks is like the whole song is built out of notes like this, and then, you know, if you imagine 30 notes, it's a nasty ass table. And if we're debugging or we're trying to change the speed of one, since every note scrolls on at the whim of the note before it, if we change any before note timing, it just screws everything over. So part of me thinks we should rehaul it to like to function in measures, because it'd be nice if we can say, yo, this measure, you know, for, you know, a whole measure of rest, you know, which right now if we wanted to do that, we would have to trigger it as a first note and give it a timing of 2 as the third param, and then that would be how we put in a whole measure of rest. But then, like I'm saying, like every subsequent note is dependent on the one before. So that's why I took the time to like actually come up with the melody first. So I'm not changing the melody. You know, we know what melody we need to put in. So this method should work. It's just like not very maintainable to tweak timings of anything. So let's go. Next two notes are D and a G. Now 2-2 is our G. D would be our third string second fret. Yes, third string second fret. So instead of putting the note here, we want it the same. Oh my god, dude. Yeah, we want it the same period of time than the first. So we want this to be a 1. We want this to be a third string and a second fret. And we want it to probably have a half note timing, same as the first one, because our G that we're going to put in here, we're going to put in a G, which would be the 2-2, just like over here. And then we can do the same check where we say, oh god, is it a 0.5? If we put in a 0.5 and then put in a placeholder note on the bottom, we can check and make sure our bass notes are still synced up, because our bass notes are what's basically counting the measures for us. Yeah, because we play it in harmony with the bass notes. So we're going to say the bottom string, and we're just going to put a whole note worth in there. So let's see how it sounds. Let's see. Fuck, dude, I suck at it. It's hard. Okay, let's try it. Let's try it. You hear it? You hear how the melody's kind of like coming together though? It is tough. I like... So, okay, it's getting there. For some reason, I feel like the first note was that I hit it right, and it just didn't register right. Yeah, the first note is just doesn't render red or green, which is wrong. So. Ooh, it was like, why did it do that? It didn't render green until like super late. okay, I don't know why. The note is first. I mean, I feel like it's the first note that's screwing this up, because it doesn't do a valid note checker as long as the first is up, and the first is for a quarter note time. So let's just see when. I'm going to spam the third note here until we see a green or red. So it goes way too soon. So maybe we just boost. Let's just maybe boost our 12 to maybe 16 for timing. It makes the minigame more lenient towards timing, but it might help this issue, because it's like it's not checking valid note checker for the second note. Okay, that looked right. That looked better. Okay, that looks better. Let's keep going. I mean, I can't even play the freaking second note right. Oh, dude, it is. Dude, it might be too hard. It might be too hard. I mean, still, I didn't see the first note get rendered red or green. The first real note. I also just triggered a correct note when I hit the wrong fret, so that's jacked up. The first note just isn't being checked soon enough. It's because, you know, we're only running the valid note checker on the very next active note. So it's like we might just need to prematurely remove the first note before it fully scrolls off screen, because depending on the timing of the first note, the offset, it just can't trigger soon enough for the real first note to come on screen. So I feel like we just need to table.remove our first note sooner than the rest. So when we remove note, when we remove note, I want to say that the first thing we want to do, you know, we remove a note if it's here. So basically we're going to say, if the note that we're trying to remove is a first note variety, then if its position is, if its X position is smaller than, let's say, this is a negative 12. So a note is 12 wide. So if we're saying if the X is less than a negative 12, meaning it's fully off screen. So we want it not if it's fully off screen, but if the invisible note is starting to scroll off screen, then we basically need to remove it from the active notes. Now, does that screw up our timing? It shouldn't, because the timing is baked in when they instantiate, so I think we're okay there. Okay, so if it's a first, note, we want to remove it. Otherwise, we want to just check if the dot first is equal to first, then we need to check if it is starting to scroll off screen. If it is, so this should give us a 12 pixel, like a whole note worth of sooner checking for valid note checking on the real first note. And then this is all real notes. Okay. Okay, let's see this. We basically, we just want a sooner red on the very first real note. Or green if it's right, so. Nice, that looks like it. Okay. It's fun. It's fun to mess around. It's a little overwhelming, I feel like, but okay. I mean, I think it's by habit. I just keep quitting, but we can just stop playing. Like I keep hitting escape and reloading the game when I can just reload the song. We hit, god damn it, dude. We hit the wrong fret on the right string and it gave us a green note. So just like little stuff like that is just hard to test. See, yeah, I hit the right string at the wrong fret and it didn't work. So let me just try to intentionally hit the right string wrong fret and see what happens. Those are fine. Those ones all gave me the wrong answer. But, and I keep reloading it. Let's see. Oh, maybe it is right. Holy crap. This is like Dark Souls hard. This game's like Dark Souls. Dude, okay, I gotta get out of that habit of just quitting the game to reset it. Okay. Can you hear how the song's supposed to sound though? Like it's starting to come together. And it's like as I play it, you know, it's hard because I have to transpose a keyboard melody to strings and frets and notes into different, you know, it's just not intuitive to turn an instrument into a couple of keyboard presses. So fitting the melody is a little weird. But it's these are the right notes that I'm wanting, and the method seems to be working. Cool. Okay, so let's keep adding the notes because I think we're on the right track. Okay, so the next note, this hits in tandem with the bass note. So in our reset, we need to go find our song 1. Okay, so instead of hitting... Oh, Lord. See, this is what I'm talking about, where it's like, where's the freaking measure? Where's the note? If this is the note that's supposed to be on beat, then we need to hit a 2-2, which is a G, second string, 2nd fret for a whole note worth? No, because we have an F coming up. So the F is like maybe a 1 after. So let's add a F right after the G here. And an F is going to be a semitone below the G, so it's going to be 2nd string, 1st fret. And let's just put a 1 so that the next note we add is just on beat with the measures. And like, this is just how I'm going to be building out, because it's like, I can't, you know, we're going to put 4th string, bottom string, 0 frets for a whole note, a note on the bottom string there, just so we can see that we're keeping in time with the bass notes. So let's see. Yes. Consts. Yo, you don't like a whole table of notes that are dependent on the previous note? Okay, so this is, instead of this note, we want to put another G, so it's a 2-2 for 2. Dude, it's bad. I don't like it, but we're also on a deadline. We are on a deadline. Yo, look at that! It's coming together. It's coming together. That sounded good. Okay, so this is that's the first 4 measures. So do we... Yo, I like the brights in chat. Looking good. Okay, so the good news is we're 25% done with the song. We're 4 measures done with an 18 measure song. So let's just try it again. Let's just see. It's easier now that I get used to it. So it is tough. I like it. Now the only thing is the 0.5, the 0.5 note is not registering a yes or no fast enough. So we might have to... I don't know. We might have to either, we either have to stretch out the BPM. We might have to stretch out the BPM just to give it some time for the previous note to get removed. But also, yeah, because, dude, if we change the BPM, it screws our timing completely. Because right now we have, oh, that would be sick. Well, the thing is, like, my issues with the beat offs are I don't use traditional DAWs. So, like, I'll do it on my synth or in Tidal Cycles or on Sonic Pi, and it's tough it's tough to make sure not only the BPM is right, but that when I export it, I'm like right on the beat, you know? I guess, you know, Bright's got some quantizing magic up his sleeves, but it's also, it's just tough because I don't commit to a DAW when I do the beat off. So maybe I should. I'm taking 3 days off of work next week, and I'm going to do a lot of resting and Tidal Cycles, because I want to start streaming Tidal Cycles music generation on a stream here for the first like 10 minutes of the stream, and then also just like T-Mug's paint over and edit the song as the stream goes on. But no, Rough Cookie, I totally agree. I mean, this is 1/4 of the song, so the whole song will be at least 4 times this long, and it's just like disgusting to look at. I mean, I guess what we can do, maybe everything that lands on a beat we can just do like a new line for and kind of spread it out like that. So if this is, you know, this is a total of 4, so we can just space it out like that maybe. Will it let me do that? So every 4 notes, or 4 timings, so 0.5, 1, and 1, that gives us 4. 1, 0.5, 1. See, so that doesn't match up. I don't know, man. I'm kind of thinking it's going to be a nasty string. We can do a nasty string. I don't know. Dude, it's hard. It's like I like, you know, I'm making Guitar Hero from scratch, and it's like, I don't know how the hell to do this. Okay, so this is our G, this is our end. It would be nice if we can annotate. I mean, I guess we can say this is, we can say that this is start of measure 5 or end of measure 4. And then keep building out the notes. Okay, so the first note of the next measure is going to be not in equal time after. So if the G, if this is the G, oh shoot, I have to see. Timing is baked into the note objects, yes, because I had to come up with something so that the notes could be at the, I call it the beat zone, which is like where the notes end up on the left side of the screen. So the beat zone is what's being highlighted there with the blue box. So that's the, I call it the beat box is what I do. That's the beat box. The beat box is on the left. So I had to come up with a way to ensure that the notes would end up at the beat box on beat with the bass notes. So I came up with that method. You know, I came up with the method of saying, okay, well, every 2 delta time, every 2 seconds, a beat from the rhythm of the bass notes is coming on screen. And then therefore we need to start instantiating active notes into the scene based on those 2 beat counts. So I baked it into the note itself. There's a million ways to do it, I'm sure. That's just what I came up with. I gotta take a quick break. I'll be right back. Okay. Rough Cookie, have you done a beat off with Brightside mutually? Because I've done two, both with people were involved, other people were involved, but the I did it with my synth and with Sonic Pi. So it was very fun, but also it's crazy because his community is so good at it, right? So like everyone does their submissions and it's all like actually good. So when I put mine in, it's like, oh, it's clear that I did it. It's clear, like everyone knows the one I did, you know. But it's super fun. I want to do another one. Yeah, man, I get it. It's not an easy thing. I totally get it. Well, hopefully you can Dark Souls tough it out through Tashio so that you can beat the demo. Yeah. So are you good? Did you ever play Guitar Hero? Yeah, you can do it. You can do it. God damn it, dude. It's tough. It's tough, but it'd be fun. Like, it would be fun. I would like a mode at the end of the game where you can just turn off the sheet music but have the bass notes go on so that you can kind of free play the songs from memory if you wanted to, as like a Zen mode or something. I don't know. Just talking ideas. Just because it's like my fingers are starting to remember the patterns, so I could see us maybe adding a mode where we just do that. Okay, so let's keep adding the notes here. Okay, so we added, it wasn't the end of the fourth measure because we need an E. So the last note we have is the G that hits in tandem with the G bass note. So let's just put, yeah, let's do instead of two measures, we're gonna put, or two whole note, we're gonna put a half note, and then we're gonna put a E, which is the first note in our song, which is a 2 second string 0 fret. We still, I need to fix anything that has a quarter note is just not rendering fast enough for the valid note checker. So I need to figure out how to do that better. Okay, that was the right note and the right time, but I keep noticing little mistakes of like, it turned, I accidentally hit a green note on the wrong fret. But our valid note checker is still not working for anything with a 0.5 timing. Yeah. Let's see how we're running the valid note checker. Now, in the valid note checker, we're only doing it on the pair of active notes. Yeah, we only do it on the next active note. So if the note before is not all the way off deinstantiated, then we won't be able to valid note check for it. So it's just like a... Yeah, I don't know how we would fix that. We would have to either deinstantiate them sooner or change how our valid note checker works, you know. So I feel like the deinstantiation is easier, but it'll look worse. Where do we do this? Remove notes. Okay, we're saying if it's smaller than -12, let's remove it. Let's try -10 and just see. So what sucks is like that would mean they disappear before they've scrolled off screen, but it would give us 2 more pixels to valid note check a faster note. So let's see. It's not working still. It's like this didn't bug me as much as I thought it was. If it's smaller than -10, smaller than -8, let's just see when they deinstantiate and see. Just see when they remove and if it's too jarring. It's not bad. Okay. That actually looked better. That worked better. It doesn't bug me that they deinstantiate at -8. And it looked like the note that was troublesome is now working there, so let's try it again. Yes. Yes, yes, yes. Okay. That worked. They were all green. They were all correct. I think it's okay. I think we're good to move on. Where is our reset note? Oh, our beautiful string. Okay, end of measure 4. Okay, so with a G and an E, both with a half note. Oh my god. Where'd it go? Where'd it go? G and E both have a half note. So that means the next note we put in here would land right on the downbeat of measure 5. So we're right here. So let's say that this is end of measure 4. We leave this here, and then to appease Rough Cookie just a bit, we can do a little old new line action here. So let's just see. We're going to put a note on the bottom string just to make sure the timing is right, because if we're wrong here, and maybe what sucks is like I can't do it on a per measure basis because some notes aren't split up into even measures. So like there's like a little bit of offset, so I can't make it much tidier than this. But let's put note 4, string 4, bottom string, 0 frets, whole note, and we will put that in right here. Okay, so we're looking for note right there. Okay. What we're looking for is our bottom note, the very last note. Oh my god, I keep doing the same thing. We're looking for the bottom string, the note on the bottom string, the very last note, to be right on beat with the bass notes. So yes. Okay. Cool. It was right on beat. So this is the right timing. So let's build out measure 5 now. 25% done. Not bad. Not bad. Okay, it is Okay, it's gonna be. This is bad. I mean, it's 3 notes in quick succession. So the first one is actually gonna be not here. It's gonna be an empty note. So let's give it. I guess we can put empty instead of first because it's like we need a kind of rest. If we want to play nice with the measures building out, we can say, well, this is going to be a rest note. So it's going to be invisible. It's not going to have any valid note checking on it, and it's not going to render. Which we have to do some testing, make sure it doesn't accidentally count incorrect notes or correct notes on the string hits. But we're gonna. It's only a 0.5 empty note. Because the other option and how we would plan on doing this, you know what? Let's not do this. No, let's try it. Let's try it. And what we'll do is we have a note 1 there. Then we have a 3-note succession, E, G, E. So the E is the... Let's see. E, G, E. What the heck? Which E? Which G? Let me see. Oh, okay. It's these first 2, so... Crap. Let me see. Hold on a sec. This music is throwing me off. It's a low G. It's on string 4. Wow. Okay, it is 4 notes in succession and it's a low G. Okay, let's try it. And what I might want to do, yeah, I think what I want to do is so we don't. Well, let's try it. Let's try it. Okay, so it's an E, which is the same first note as the first measure. So that's a string 2, fret 0. But it is going to be, they're all fast. So they're all a quarter note. So the E is a quarter note. Then it's a low G, which is going to be string 4, fret 1. Also quarter note. Then back to it in E. Okay, I think I see what you're talking about, Rough Cookie, with the consts you're talking about. Like, like, but the a lot of them have different timings, you know. Some of them are quarter note, half note, or whole note. So it's, I don't know. I'm with you though. Just lazy, I guess. Lazy, and I want to make it hard, you know? Okay, so it's a 0.5, 0.5, 0.5, which gets us to a D right on beat with the next measure. So start of measure 6 is going to be a D, and D is going to be... Well, so like, if we go... I've tried something like that in the past, and when I cycle through indexing into tables, when I do like enums like that, it screws up. It screws up in the table. I don't get. Yeah, I don't know. I guess it's like I've tried something like that and it didn't work as I thought it would. So that paired with the some notes are different measures, you know, different whole note, half note, whatever. Like, that was the abstraction I used to get us to notes. So, like, note is the abstraction. So, like, if we go one further than notes, yeah, I don't know. The other thing, I'm not sure if other tomes are going to have a different set of music. I don't know. I don't know. It's one of those things where it's like I'm in too deep. Might just keep on with the crap. Okay, so D is string 3, fret 2. No, that is, oh crap. That should be E. This is back up to an E. Okay, so 3-2 is the D, so 2-0 is the E, and 3-2 is the D. Yep. You're good. I mean, I'm with you. I'm with you in theory. It's just that I have that gut feeling that I'm gonna try to do it and then it's gonna break and then I'm gonna come back to doing it like this. Which probably isn't a great mentality to get into, but I just got a strong feeling about it. Oh my god. Okay. So, that was good until I flubbed it all up. I think what I want to do is break it apart into the measures, at least for testing, right? So we're going to put song 1 here, and we're going to say that song 1 starts with measure 5 because the first note is the same. So we can now hopefully resume the song. Oh, we can't do this unless we do that. Yuck. Okay, let's try this. It's too fast. My brain breaks for it. So we have to come up with a simpler way to play. Okay, so the E, I don't like the E. I like the D, don't like the second E. So let's say that the second E here is actually, this is a 1, and we take out the E altogether and keep the D. See, why did string 2 not have a fret 2 and still be right? Let's see. That is strange. Because I did the same thing that time, but that time it correctly got it wrong. Wow, it's really pretty, but it's very tough. That part is really tough. It's tough, dude. So it's just like this one, then this one. This one, then this one. Bro, it's really tough. Yeah, I think once we get this in, I would like to maybe slow down the whole thing by just like 20%. That's right, but it's not easy. Okay, let's keep going. I think that's right. So that is measure 6. So start of measure 7 will be A hits by itself. So we can say that this is actually a 1.25 or a 1.5, 1.5, and then there's a C and an F. Which C and which F? Let me see. No, it's a G. It's a low G again. Okay, it's a low G. So the G was a 4-1. And it was after the D. So let's say this is still 1. Then we put in a low G again. It was not 4-1. Low G is a 4, yeah, 4-1. Yeah, that is right. That is right. God, it's fucking tough, though. See there, I hit the right string, the wrong note, and it turned green. And I don't know why. That is really tough. That's why we're gonna give them like 5 misses or something. Holy crap. Okay, well that's right. That's the right G. Okay, so if that is... Okay, let me just check and make sure that the D note is right on the beat of the bass note. Okay, yeah, that looked right. So the next note is actually played right on beat with the A. It's not on. It's the A just hits by itself. So instead of this being a 1 to get us to the end of the A note, we're gonna put it to be a 2 to put us 1 beat into the next measure, so that we can do a C and F both with a 0.5. So the C is gonna be string 3 fret 1. And it's going to be half a second there, and then it's going to go down to a F. Yes, it is going to be a string 4 fret 0. We'll just put a whole note there just to see. What just happened? Dude, it's close. It's close. That's right. That's right. That's right. Okay, so C and B are the only next 2 notes, and it's going to be C is on string 2 fret 1. I don't know the timing. Let's say that this was a 1, and then C is going to be string 2 fret 1. And we'll do it just a 1. We're gonna have to play with the timing here because I don't know what the timing is. But the B, I do think that this would actually be a 0.5. It's a little faster. And then we do need that. Okay, so it's a C and then a string 2 fret. Oh, just a string 2 fret nothing. Note, note, Okay, let's see. That's so close, dude. That's so close. It was the wrong note. C should be string 3, fret 1. Yes, because it's second from the bottom string, fret 1, yeah. And then the lower one, which is string 3, open fret. That's I think that's right. I just played it wrong. Dude, that's right. I think that's right. I just played it wrong. I still get false positives. Fuck, dude. Oh my god, dude. I'm really making the Dark Souls of the music world. Yo, Knocker in the house. What up, dude? We're building out the first song. It is difficult. You know, here I'll put the whole song on. We've got 8 measures in the song, so we can see if I can even play it. So let's see. We're gonna put, yeah, song 1 is gonna be built from here. Let's try it. Okay, let's see. Oh. Do we miss a comma? No? Oh, I think that's screwing it up. Nope. I don't know what is wrong. Okay, so this is the first 4 measures. This should be it. Oh, we have a double quote right here. Yeah, we have a double quote right there. Okay, that should be it. Here we go. Let's try to play our own song. We messed up the timing a bit. We got disjointed. Oh, probably because this. Okay, I'm going to switch back to the two-part song, but you can kind of hear how the song's coming together. It's just that we have like an invisible note to offset. I think that's what screwed up the timing, but I'm still just trying to get the second half of the song built. Come on, man. Cool. That's it. That's it. Yeah, so that's up to the 8th measure. So the next thing we need is the second half of the song is easier. So we just need to make sure that our first beat on the 9th measure hits right with the C of the bass note. So let's make sure we're in sync there, and then we can kind of reset our third set of 4 measures. So what I'm going to do here is say we just want one more note, and this is just a tester to see if we're hitting the right beat. We're going to put it on the bottom string, open fret, for a whole note. And we're just going to look at this last note that's on the bottom string, and we're looking for it to be in sync with the timing of the bass note rhythm. Okay, it's too soon. So that tells me this needs to be a 1 or less. Let's see. Or it was too late. It needed to be sooner. Yes, okay. So that is on beat now. So instead of putting a tester note, we put in the next steps for the rest of our song. Now this is where the timing has been getting off, because we put in a first note, which our valid note checker ignores, but it's just a way for us to offset a rest while maintaining the second set of measures. The fact that we put in this first in the beginning of measure 5 is why the measures were off when we combined them. So when we combine them into one table, we need to add the 0.5 to the previous note so that we maintain the same spacing, but we just do this so that we can test easier. So let's do, instead of this, we want the same thing where it's a 0.5 and then a 1. 0.5, we might need a 0.5 and a 1 and a 0.5. So this is going to be a first note, which will be ignored by the note checker, and it'll be a 0.5, just like the rest of our first notes. Then we're going to we have 2 notes, and it's just an E and an E. Okay, so it's going to be, an E is second string open fret. So we're going to do second string open fret for 1 second, and then 0.5 or 1 second. I think 0.5 I think we want 1 second for the first note and then 0.5, 0.5 for both E's. Let's try this. Not right. Too fast. But yeah, I think the timing was way off. It was a 1 second there and then a 0.5 for the next note. Because the 0.5 should be right before the bass note. So let's see. Try it one more time. I think that's right. I feel like our bass note is off by 1, but I can't tell. Okay, it is off. I feel like this should be a 1. Let's try this timing. Okay, no, it is faster. This should be 0.5. And I feel like this should be 0.5. I can't tell. It should be a little sooner. It should be a little sooner, so this should be less. But 0.5 less seems too soon. That's right. That's right. Okay, so the E's are right. This might need to be more than a 1. It might need to be a 0.5 or 1.5. So let's try to put a G which is a second string, second fret. Right here for a whole note. Second string, second fret, whole note. 2 2s all around the board. Let's see. My fingers were on the wrong frets there. That's right, that's right. I played it wrong, but that's right. Okay, so we need to get the timing for the next C. These are nice because they're like they're whole notes like apart from one another. So this is what I mean by the second part of the song is easier, because there's one note for each measure for like 3 notes in a row. So there's the G, then we need the C, which is string 3, fret 1. So string 3, fret 1. We'll put it for a whole note, and then we'll add the next note, which is a D, which is string 3, fret 2 for a whole note. So let's see if the timing is okay on those. Yeah, man, that's it. I do want on the C, I want 2 of these. 1 with 1 second, 1 with another 1 second. Yes, dude. That's sounding cool. First C, I want 0.5. Second C, 1.5. Yo. That's it, dude. That's it. Okay. Okay, so now it's the E's again, which is going to be another offset. I feel like the two we'll plop them in on beat and see. I think we need the E's again, which is 2 0. And then I think we want a 0.5, 1.5 again for the E's. Let's see. It's almost there. It's almost there. So we hit the E's again. They looked right. This might need to be a 1.5, and then so that the next note. Okay, so okay, I wrote these down wrong. The very last two notes go to CB, so it goes. Okay. So the 1.5 is the E's, so we need a G, a high G, which is the one at 2 2 2s. So we put 2 2 2. And then it's not quite, I feel like it's not quite a 2 on the timer, but it's close. Then it goes CBG. It all sounds fine. It all sounds fine there. But then we need a C, which is the highest note. First string, fret 2. Second string, third fret is the last note. Okay, so this should be all of our notes. Now we just have to worry that the timing is right. close. It is fret 1 here. Okay, let's try it again. This is very close. Okay. We're good. Okay, I gotta get out of the habit of quitting the game so fast, because I can just reset it in-game. Let's try it. Okay, 2 2nd fret. Last note needs to be 2nd fret, 2nd string. Oh. Let's go. Yo, I think that's right. Dude, that's it. I want to commit right here real quick before we pair it all together into one song. So okay, let's try it. We're going to combine the two parts of the song and get rid of the invisible notes so that the timing stays correct. So right here, instead of adding a 0.5 to the first note here, we're going to take out that note and we're going to add the 0.5 to the end of this. So this is going to become a 1.5. Then we're going to also take out the 0.5 from this note. We're going to remove this note altogether and add the 0.5 to the previous note, which is 1. So we'll put it right here, 1.5. And then we will hope that our song is perfect. Let's see. Fuck. Okay, let's try this. Here we go. Here we go. Off. We're off. Shit. Where were we off? Dude, it's getting there. It's like we're just a little bit off. I can probably... I just need to find where we're off. It gets off at the second measure, I think. Yeah, shit. Okay, I'm gonna undo all that junk. Basically revert to our commit, where it was working for the second half. Oh, lordy. Oh, lord. Okay, I'm gonna just get stash, I think. Let's try it again. We're really close. We're really close. What I'll do is we will just combine all the notes. And then I'll leave the invisible notes for the timing's sake because they shouldn't screw anything up. I'll keep them separate like that. Okay, so we do need a comma. We got a comma. Okay. Let's try this. Let's see if leaving the invisible notes in make it work. We need a lot of we need a lot of time at the end of this, I think. Let me try. See, this is what really sucks about the method is like, dude, if one of them is off on beat, it triggers a chain reaction that all of them are late. Okay, it's not that one. It's not that one. I would think it's maybe this one. so off. Let's try to just do the first part of the song and make sure that's still working. Because if we can sequester like what is not broken, then we can know which note needs to be tailored next. Yeah, that part's wrong. That part's wrong. We had the first part of this wrong. So it's almost like, let's get rid of the 0.5 and add the 0.5 to the end of here. It's just the secondary first notes are what's screwing us, I think. Notes are wrong. It's these ones that are off, but I can't tell how. Let me just look at my music and music sheet and kind of compare it. Okay, I think we have one too many E's in there. Yeah, we were supposed to take out one of these E's. We had it and then I forget how we broke it. How broke the first bit. So E is this first note 2-0. So when we do this 2-0, one of these E's is superfluous, and I don't remember which one. Let me just look at the music again and see. Second E is wrong. So let's take out the second E and we'll add 1 second beat to this one and let's see if that fixes it. Yo, thanks for the support, Kavictus. We almost got the song in. Whoa, that made it way off, yeah? Okay, I played like shit that time. Let's see. Yes, that looks right. That looks right. So let's add in the rest of the song and see what else may be disjointed. off, off, off. Let's do this same thing where we take out the invisible note and we'll put in the 0.5 at the end of this one and see if we start getting better. It's off, dude. I'm just gonna add maybe a 2 here and just see if I can, because it's like we're only off by 1 measure, you know? Shit. What are we doing? Okay, I'm gonna look at my music notes and see if the notes are even correct, right? We're off, yeah, we're off by 1 whole beat somewhere, but I'm also missing our low G that I'm never seeing. So let me just try to add a whole beat at the end of here and see if it just syncs us back up and see if we've got the right notes. Dude, this is tough. This is tough. I feel like we have too many notes in here somewhere. But I could have sworn we did everything right. The G is where we're messing up. So when we do the E right here, the E is the 205 down to G, and then back up to then we hit D with the B in the bass. So let me just see if that part is right. And we'll inch forward. That's right. So let's just go 1 note at a time. Let's just see. Let's just go 1 note at a time and just make sure we're not screwing up. So if the next note is that, is that correct? Yeah, this needs a lot more time. 1.5. Okay, that is the wrong note. So, if it goes... It should be a G, which is string 4, fret 1. So this should be a 4-1. And that's the note we have right here, the 4-1. So maybe we just had that extra note left over that is incorrect. So let's just try to put the 4-1 here and see if that puts us back on schedule. I gotta pluck the G string. It's stuck. It's stuck. That's the right note. Okay, so we might be okay if we put the rest of the song right here. Let's try it. We just had an extra note crammed in the crack. It's close. There's like one bit off, and I can't tell where. The timing is off just by like by a quarter note. Dude. Oh my god. We're close. We're close. That's the wrong note. The second fret on the third string is the wrong note. This is the wrong note. Oops. Bro, I can't even make sense of this. 4-4-1-1 is the G. That's the low G at the end of measure 8. No, that's actually at the end of measure 6. Then we have a C and an F. So if it goes... I almost need to plug in my synth to the track so you guys can hear it. I'm gonna take a quick break and I'll be right back. Yeah, this 3-2 is wrong. So it goes... We go down to the 4-1G twice, which I do see. We have, yeah, down once and then down twice. So there's a D in between. Now a D is supposed to be string 3, fret 2. It says that's string 3, fret 2. Okay. Let me just play it and see if it sounds right. Okay, so as long as string 3 fret 2 is in fact a D, that should be the right note. Yeah, that is the right note. Let me see what's wrong, man. Okay. D isn't actually played. D is played by the bass note. So the D is the bass note. So if we get rid of the D here on 3-2 and we just add 2 seconds, oh my god, of G right there, maybe that can help us. Okay, that's not right, but it's closer. So when it goes... It needs to go back up to an E is what I'm missing. A 3. A 2-0 is an E? Yeah, 2-0 is an E. This should be a 2-0, not a 3-2. Because D is played right there at the bass note, but we need E to kind of harmonize with it. That's not it either. That's close though. That's really close. This should be an F, a low F. It's literally 4-0. It's literally 4-0. Shit, man. It's so close. I mean, this is the wrong part. Let me play it out. Play it out. Okay, I think we have like 2 extra notes in there, I think. Let's take this note out. Oh my gosh, man. I don't know how I can figure this out. I thought we had each part ready. Okay. Part of me wants to just keep adding time to one of these until the end is in sync, and then we can see which notes we need to fix still. Sounds like we're just 2 off, but we were at 2. Let's see. 2 meaning a whole measure. Yo, Rough Cookie, thank you. That is very nice of you. Okay, now we're 2 off. So if we do is, not that 0 is right, but like, yo, thanks for hanging, Rev Cookie. Yeah, this has been wild. This has been wild. I wish I had thought of a better way so that we didn't have to dig through, you know. It's really messed up, but flip, dude. Okay. I feel like I've got to redo it. I feel like I've got to uncommit and then just build it out from the beginning again. But like, which part? Here, let's get stash this. And let's go back into the loot. And we'll just check out this 40.5 is the first part of the second half of the song. Dude, okay, so that's like what we're missing. We're missing this. 405. 205, 401. Dude. Okay. I think I see the issue. Well, no. Okay, so this 405 is the right second half of the song. What note does that start on? Yeah, thank you, Rough Cookie. That was very nice. It's not even... Dude, this is like... This isn't from the 8th... Yeah, this isn't from the start of the 9th measure. This is the start of the 5th measure, I think. So if we copy... This is the 405. Okay. So let's how do we get apply stash? How do we do this? Get apply the last stash that we had. Stash apply brackets 1. What is it? Get stash apply. Okay, so let's go back into here. We'll go into our loot class. Now everything is right past the 405. So this, oh shit. Let me pull up. Okay, so here is our song 1 that is correct from here and onwards. So the last 2 notes before the correct part were this 3-1 and 3-0. So this 3-1 and 3-0, it does look right. It's 3-1, 3-0. That's right before we have. So we have 4-0 is going to be a low F. Shoot, man, we're like... This is already wrong, dude. We have a 4-1 here. Oh, shit. Oh, this is the first. Okay, so if this is the end of measure 4, god damn it. 201, 221, 321, 225. Yeah, this is all right. to 201. Then we have another thing where we took this out, then did a 205. That's the next one. 411. 41520. God damn it, this is so jacked up. Okay, if I could find exactly what note this low F is, it looks like it's right here at measure 7. So if we get all of those right, and we just make sure that this 405... Oh, see, that's throwing me off because that's the hidden note. God damn it. Okay, I say we, I don't know, man. I don't know. All the notes should be right. I mean, unless we screwed up. This says this is the end of measure 4. So then we have a rest, which might be screwing us. The 40.5, this should actually be a rest. Well, we have 201. Oh my god, dude. Ay, ay, ay. 211. 221. 211. Then we have a 221. This doesn't even fit. 221. 201. Jesus Christ, dude. It's not a freaking computer. Did you mean 2122 or 20111221? 221? 2. Oh my god, dude. This is so bad. 211 221. That's it. 201. Okay, so we did a 0.5 for the end of the fourth measure. So we did a 0.05, and then this 40 should be taken out. So this part here should be taken out, and then because we added the rest to the previous note, then we have Jesus. Yo, my Fu Manchu, what up, dude? Thank you for the follow. 405. This should be taken out. Yeah, we should just take that out. And then it's a 205. Okay, then a 41. See, why is that all jacked up? Okay, so this is end of measure 1. We have, if we take this out, then we have the 205, that's this one. Then the 41.5. So that should be a 0.5. And then we have a 20. And then a 32. Okay, so there are a couple extra notes. So we do need to put... Honestly, I think we just back out and try it again. Because we had all the right parts. We just need to make sure that this is the first note of the eighth measure. We should break out the second part of the song so we know exactly what measure it starts on, so that we can... Oh my god, dude. Yeah, I think we back out, we get revert, and then we just make sure that we know exactly which note this lands on and which beat this lands on, and then we just need to line that up, because we know the second half is right. We just need to get it bang on. So I'm going to try to find what this first note is in the song. Okay, this is the revert. We need to get stash. Okay. This is literally measure 5, beginning of measure 5. Yes, this is the beginning of measure 5. Okay, so now that we know that that's actually measure 5, not measure 9, we can put the parts back into this. So we need to take this note out because this is the first note of measure 5. Dude, it's wrong. It's wrong. Hold on. Okay, yes. This is the first measure. This is the first note of measure 5. What's throwing me off is that it doesn't start right away. Okay, so the 0.5 here is to offset the C bass note, which is the beginning of measure 5. So if we know that this 201 is the beginning of measure 5, we can just put with a 0.5 difference. So 0.5. Okay, so this is the start of measure 5. So before measure 5, there's only 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 notes. So what are those 8 notes? This is a hidden note, so there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. Okay, so these notes were duplicate. So if we get rid of what that was, see how these match up. 2, 0, 4, 1, 2, 0, 3, 2. Those are close. So I think that's wrong. And I think that measure 4 is fine. And I think when we put in by measure 5, we need to add the 0.5 to the previous note. So here we put 1.5 so we can get rid of that invisible note. And then we pray that this is right. Because this 0.5 should also be added to the previous note. So a 1.5 here. And with any luck and a little bit of skill, maybe. Maybe. It's close. We straight up missed up one note here. And I don't know how, because it's like... Oh my god. Oh my god, that's almost it. Is that it? Okay, I think I'm just bad at it, but I think that's it. Okay, the last note is wrong. The last note needs 1 second here, I think. This is crazy, though. I think this is it. Okay. All right, let's lock in. Let's lock in. We get the sheet music as I quit the game instantly. Okay, we get the sheet music. We found an ancient tome. It's engraved with elegant music from times of old. It also bears a message, blah, 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 blah. Okay. We equip our tome. We equip our lute. And then we play our song. I unequipped it by equipping it because we... Oh my... We're good. We're good. Here we go. Equip lute. Here we go. Dude, I need to just stop canceling out. My instinct is to hit escape right away. Okay. Fuck. It's close. The last note is still too fast. Last note. Let's try 111 maybe. This one says it's 0.5.52, 0.5.52. Let's trust the old one. 0.5.52. Okay, let's try that. Oh my. Oh my god. There's still the 0.5 quarter notes still don't always register a valid note checker. So I feel like we might need to still take down the removal when we do a remove note. Let's try to do this at a minus. If the X is smaller than maybe 4, let's remove it. Let's see. I'm just going to see when they disappear. Yeah. Looks too soon. Fuck. Not bad, not bad. Shoot. It's not part of the lyrics, it's part of the sing-along. Yeah. Got to put a little bouncy dot at the bottom. Shoot, man, it's tough. It's fun, though. It's fun. Like, I have to really think about it, though, too. Okay, you know what? Yeah, let's cut the music real quick. And we'll try to lock in. We'll try to lock in and do it for real. For real, for real. So this is the mini game in the game. So like in the game you have spell casting, right, which is like your offensive defensive stuff, which is one aspect of the game. So like in the dungeon, you can use your spell casting against the corrupted bats. So the corrupted bats fly in and you can cleanse them and get them to fly away. So that's one aspect of the game, but a part of the game is heavily, inspired by music. Like I like Link's Awakening, but in Link's Awakening, you gather all the musical instruments and you give them to the windfish or whatever, but you never get to like play the instruments. So I always wanted to play the instruments. So in this game, we have a lute, and the idea is you have your lute and you can just like fiddle around with it. You can fiddle around with it without playing any music. I mean, without playing any like mini game. So if you don't have the tome equipped and you've got your lute equipped, you can play whatever you want. So like you can just sit and play your lute if you want, but it's not until you beat Dungeon 1 and you get your first sheet music from the tome here that you can equip it, and then the sheet music scrolls on screen and then you can try to play it. Okay, I missed one note. 28 notes, missed one. Not bad. So I think in the game, to make it a little more friendly to people, I think we'll allow 3 to 5 missed notes or something, so that I don't know, because it's like I want them to like actually practice it, because it's like once you do it over and over, it does get easier, you know. Like I've only ever been able to practice this song today, and I just only missed one note, and it's only been existing for like a little bit. So I think we want to do it because the idea is you play the song, and as soon as you beat the song with less than 3 notes missing or whatever, you play it on this screen and it'll clear the water. It cleanses the corrupted water into blue. So like the tome is inscribed with a little riddle that kind of hints that you should come over here to Mage's Castle. And then I think I want to put I want to make the riddle a bit more clear, because I want to put like a little something, like a little idol or a just something like unique here or here to kind of like draw the player. Like the riddle will have something to do that should remind them of Mage's Castle over here, because when you play the lute song on this screen, it'll cleanse the water, and that'll be the end of the demo. So you get one dungeon, you get a couple of screens, you get the refinery with some upgrades, and then you get a sandstorm to get stuck in, and then you can get the water cleansed. I don't know with Stalker 2. I'll have to check that out. But yeah, it's basically, I basically just wanted to do a little jam out. So I'm gonna try the song one more time, and then probably call it here, because we're almost at 4 hours already, which is crazy. Let's try it one more time. Oh. Just the last note. I think just the last note needs to be like a half note slower. And then like there's like a little bit of tweaking I want to do to maybe one of the notes. But I don't know which one yet. So I think the last note needs to be okay, I think this is a 1. Okay, I think that's it. So yeah, let's try one more time. We'll call it a day after that. Okay, here we go. That's it, man. That's it. That's it. That's it. I want to tweak the timing a little bit of some of the early notes, but anytime we tweak it, it'll shift everything over. So I have to be very careful about that, but I might do that off stream. Just tweak like maybe just 2 of those notes, just a bit on the timing, but we've got song 1. And the thing is, if you come in here and you have the tome, right? If you get the tome, you can unequip it. And if you unequip it and play, you get free play. Ooh, bass notes need to not play if your tome's not equipped. So we have to add that. But we've got song 1, almost a 4-hour, 40-minute stream. So I'm a bit tapped out, but we've got song 1 technically in the game. A little bit of polish needed, but it's there. So let's say add song 1, all 28 notes. Need slight timing adjustment. And then we also need to take bass notes off for a tome equipal, but that's pretty easy. So we just get pushed it. We'll run credits here and call it a night. We'll find someone to raid out to. And thanks for watching. Thanks for the support. Thanks, Rough Cookie, for the gifted sub. It is so quiet without music playing, but let's raid out here. And let's see who is streaming. We got Big Boy Games. We might hit up Big Boy Games. Yo, Fu Manchu, thank you for the follow. Hope you have a good one. Hope you have a good night and a great weekend. So happy it's Friday. Yeah, we'll do Big Boy Games over here. We'll raid out. Yo, thanks for hanging, Cavictus. Yo, you're gonna hit affiliate very soon, dude. It's gonna be awesome. Thanks for watching.